Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I'm your Fleet Admiral and host, Julian Brown, alongside the best bridge crew this side of a game of Calto. How many did you guys win? I didn't win any. Vice Admiral Eric is here and wants absolutely no part of awkward turbo lift rides.
That's all my turbo lift rides. All of them.
Yeah. All of them. Are you the one who definitely lays out the fart in the turbo lift while there's three people?
I'm like, oh, that's weird. Someone farted in here.
Who did that?
Oh, wow.
Who did that? You're already getting love for your hoodie, Giraffe. Commander Hawk is here, and man, I'm guessing that you're loving getting to see lore be lore. Yeah,
malevolent android gonna malevolent android.
Indeed. Captain Giraffe is here dressed like a Jedi tonight, and I don't know, you may not be a ship person, but I know you like the lines of a Vulcan cruiser. Even though it was derelicted out there, I know you like it.
That's what we're calling it nowadays.
Lines?
We didn't see it at all.
No, it was there. It was there. It was, listing.
Apparently Hawk is MC.
Oh, is that what it is now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to keep that. It's fine.
Okay.
All right. Cool. I like it.
Fine, it's all fine.
No. All right.
Cool. I switched it. God damn.
Fine. And finally, speaking of MC, the Lieutenant Commander is here, and I know how much that cold open messed with you, because it happened to me, and then I reacted to you, and
yeah,
it was fun.
Oh, I really want to say Tuvok is a daddy, but considering he's a changeling, I'm guessing he's a faux pas.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh,
Get off my bridge.
that was so good.
2 minutes into this show, what is
That was so good.
happening?
Sober for this.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's amazing.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Well done. I'm
Faux pas.
shocked. I don't know where to go from there. Welcome back, guys. How we doing tonight? I already know that it's the regular SMP tradition that there's a bunch of shit going on with all of us, but that's why we come here, to forget about it all, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Eric, as is a new tradition, it's not really new.
No, I've been doing this for Picard.
His changeling ice cream bar. Is it
Oh,
ice
fuck.
cream or is it a gooey change?
What are you doing?
I dropped chocolate.
It's gonna materialize on the floor now.
It's fine.
It's true. It's true.
I dig the Atari cap though.
Thank you. I like it.
He's
too.
wearing an
It's comfy.
Atari cap and a PlayStation hoodie.
I have multiple alliances.
It's all good. It's all good.
Like the
it is an
changelings.
Ice cream social tonight. I'm a changeling. I think that's Wayne. Nice. Let's get into this, guys. This week, when Jean-Luc and the crew of the Titan realize that they are all on their own after a very devastating conversation with the enemy wearing an old friend's face, how dare they? They hatch a very daring plan. What happens when the fugitive Titan crew captures Vadic? What do we finally learn about her past, Project Proteus, and the evolved changeling's creation? And what chaos does Lore sue aboard the ship, putting the plan in jeopardy? And what new ability do we learn about Jack? He's got some fancy new powers this week. We are going to break it all down, but first, MC, it is back to you. We need to thank our patron collective at the Ready Room level and above. And you get the honor of doing 4
new ones, yeah.
this week. 4.
That's a lot. Thank you to Jeffrey, Mariah Gossett, Tallulah, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noe Santos, Ken Hugh, Taco Nagumo, Kara Kennedy, Mark, Fernanda Nogales, SMK, Laura Linderman, Colin Davison, Alan Davis, Shatterhand 2049, Jesco, Michael Graham, Emily and Travis, Gildara, Cassie, Hawk is King Friday, Maggie Light, Ally of the Canadian Takeover,
Yes.
Wayne Ritz, Skona Mark, Sean, Jay Howard, Mehalani Uchiyama, Matt Herker, Joshua Lewis, Cassie McIntosh, David Willett, Tara Pollen, Slope 74, Rude Parakeet, Alex Sharkey, Joshua Miller, Adam Sanders, Amy the Magic Snail, Eris Spenjan, and our 4 new collective members, Lanky Guy, Cynthia Markey, Aaron Waltke, and Carl Angoli.
Yeah, you read that right. Aaron Walke. I mean, I love that. I love that we have 4 new pages this week. That Aaron is one of them. Thank you for supporting our show so much. Like my little heart, my little heart. A big thank you to our 2 executive producers, Chris Todd and Simon Stager. You guys rock. Yes, Colin, that Aaron Walke. Yes. Yes.
Sorry, we're like organizing the Star Trek Online.
I
fleet
see
on
that.
The chat.
I see that. You want the fleet. That's okay.
We want a
Yeah.
fleet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't get over that happened. We have a lot of news this week. If you don't already know, if you're living on Starbase 80 and don't get Federation News Network, Donald Trump got indicted. Oh wait, that's not Star Trek news.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry. Did I say that out loud? I did. Sorry, had to. No, we have Star Trek news. Who wants to read the first bit? We have a lot, so I'm just gonna have y'all go through this. Who wants it?
Well,
Everyone
first-
seems distracted, so I'll go with Strange New Worlds is returning on June 15th, and it has been renewed for season 3.
Yay!
Sorry,
Very
I just
excited.
learned that we can't interface Star Trek Online if we play PlayStation or PC.
No
And I'm-
crossplay.
Aw.
What is this? So that's why
No
I was
crossplay.
okay.
This is why I don't play the game
That's so
anymore,
silly.
because I have
That's
to.
so stupid.
I have all these ships that I own and bought on PC, and that I like grinded for, and I can't transfer them over to PS4 or PS5, and I don't like have a PC anymore. So fuck them.
Yeah,
They can have
Welcome
my
to the
money.
Star Trek
PC.
Online podcast now.
Yep.
I've never played PC, so I'm good. I know I will
I know, you're
always have a
lucky.
PlayStation.
You're lucky.
So
Giraffe, since you're organizing the fleet, why don't you take the next bit of
I'm
news?
I'm not organizing the fleet. I'm being kicked out of the fleet. That's
That's
fine.
'cause
And
you're- that's 'cause you're a
Tara said she
Romulan.
can hardly hear you.
What? You can't
Tara
hear
said
me?
she can hardly hear you. Yeah.
Oh, boo.
How about
Okay.
now?
Yes. What about now?
We're just so loud.
We're just so loud. I think that was it, honestly.
Yeah.
Alright. So, second news: Lower Decks returns this summer and has been renewed for season 5.
Love that. Who wants to take the prodigy? news?
Me! No, Hawk! This is my show.
Damn you!
You know, Star Trek Prodigy is coming back this winter. Fuck yes! Let's inundate Aaron Watke over on the Discord about it.
Yep.
No, I'm just joking.
Yep.
Don't do that.
So I
No,
feel like
please don't.
Prodigy is the one show that you shouldn't say fuck yes to,
No.
considering that's the good show.
I will always
No,
say
I'm
fuck
saying
yes.
fuck yes,
I
too.
say that with my kids
We won't
around
say
too.
fuck yes on the podcast. If we do,
It's-
we'll edit it out. But
It's the
Hmm.
the hardest thing is to do
Yeah.
every Star Trek Prodigy review PG.
we've had some days. We've had some days.
Yes, it's like we need to prepare.
We do. We have a while. We have a while.
Mhm.
Hawk, take the last bit of news, and we're gonna spend like 2 or 3 minutes talking about the last part.
Right out. Freshly announced today, they are moving ahead with the Starfleet Academy series. And for a more in-depth analysis of this, you should check out MC's post on our website.
Indeed, you should. It's a very good write up. And I'm going to ask you guys individually, excited, not excited? What do you want from it? Starfleet Academy. It's been talked about literally for years now. What's going on?
I'm gonna say it. So, because like I'm always excited. I just hope it's Discovery based. That they're gonna pick up where Discovery stops, kinda. I suppose with Tilly.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Mhm.
That's what's happening, right? So
Well,
I'm
from
excited.
my sleuthing when I was doing the write up on it, they do specifically say after 100 years we're reopening Starfleet Academy. So I think that would only happen in a post burn situation. So I definitely think they're doing the after the 32nd century.
Yeah, but it's
Starfleet Academy.
Star Trek, so I'll believe it when I see.
Yeah, but it makes sense because I mean, like this show, they were starting to talk about it after that Discovery episode. All is possible, I think, is the
I
title
think it
of
is all as possible. Yes.
I'm excited if it's picking up Discovery and we're not losing this cast and these people and these stories. Then yes. Then I don't know. I don't know what kind of like tone it's gonna have. If it's Monster High but make it Star Trek, I'm most probably not gonna be into it. But it's Star Trek, so
I would love like a Wednesday type of Starfleet Academy show. I don't know.
exactly what
I'd
I'm
be into
scared
that.
of.
I don't know. I would love that. Oh, I don't know.
It's gonna be River Trek.
Yeah,
Oh
I want-
no!
I want-
See,
I-
that's the thing. I'm weirded out about is that going like all high school drama and making Star
Stargate
Trek.
Universe.
I love Stargate Universe.
I like Stargate Universe. What are you talking
Ugh.
about?
Damn straight. Stargate Universe was awesome.
Okay, I'm sorry for saying River Trek. Would you prefer Dawson's Trek?
Yes, I would. I would prefer that. I love Dawson's
Or-
Creek.
I mean,
love Dawson's
honestly,
Creek so
I
much.
personally think that this kind of makes sense because Star Trek has always been kind of the great family show. We've now got the kids show with Prodigy, and now we're getting into a teen show. Now, I don't think it's going to totally be teens. They haven't announced her yet, but I would not be at all surprised if Mary Wiseman's not on it.
No,
I'm just excited that Tawny Newsome.
You'd be surprised if Mary Wiseman is not on it. That's what you said. I misunderstood that sentence absolutely. Like,
I'd
you
be
want her
surprised
on
if she
it or
wasn't,
not?
because I think she's going to be one of the instructors.
Yeah, of course. She has
Yeah.
red hair.
Okay,
She's Miss
totally agree.
Frizzle. She will be Miss Frizzle. If she's not Miss Frizzle, we didn't get it on Prodigy. I need a.
We
I
got
need
a
a.
little bit on
No,
Prodigy.
no. Janeway's much better than Miss Frizzle, but I
Yeah.
want a Miss Frizzle.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's true. That's true.
And
That's true.
and also, yeah, Tawny Newsome is going to be in the writers' room. So I mean, come on, like.
Yeah.
yeah.
So Hawk, a tradition. I got to interrupt before you go, because I'm gonna lose the comment in a second. Matt brought up something really cool on the YouTube. See, I lost it. Damn it. On the YouTube chat, Star Trek Academy. Dr. Aaron needs to do micro learning that fans can enroll in, especially kids, to like
That'd be cool.
coincide with the show. That would be really dope. I love that.
That would be
idea.
cool.
So
Actually.
you
I
know,
s-
have done like once they had this like thing online where we were all back to the academy for I think it was Discovery premiere.
Yeah, I remember
season
that. Yeah.
4,
Yeah.
season 4. Yeah, and we had all like different professors.
Yeah.
We need to learn stuff and do trivia. It was
Yep.
hard.
It
I
was
couldn't
hard.
take it seriously at all.
Hawk.
It's a good idea. I'm glad it's not closing the door to the 32nd century as far as series go. And it definitely, depending on what happens in season 5, it leaves it wide open in that for some pretty cool guest appearances, I would imagine.
Jonathan Archer
Oh, shut up.
brought back from the dead to teach at the academy.
They kept him on ice, and we're just waiting. to
Fleet
get
Captain
occasion.
Pike rescued from Talos, teaching
Yeah.
at the academy.
Apparently, if
Um,
you're a captain of the Enterprise, then your body's going to get frozen.
It's
Yeah.
To
true.
be honest, that episode where the Tilly's is with the cadets was very good. I liked it. So
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a great episode.
that was a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also just have to say I'm just really excited by the prospect of a show coming out that is not based on any legacy characters, except maybe some people coming over from Discovery, because we need to keep Star Trek fresh. We need to keep like expanding the universe into other things because that's what Star Trek always is. It's boldly going. So we need more stuff. And I was not really happy by the idea of Strange New Worlds being the only live action series on the air. And that's not to the detriment of Strange New Worlds. That's just because, this feels small now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Star Trek 4, the movie. When? Where?
Well,
Let's go.
I mean, they still need to make an announcement for First Contact Day. So
yeah.
As
And I
long
have
as
to say,
oh, go ahead.
again, the Doctor is still somewhere in the 32nd century. Legacy character. Let's go.
It's true.
Really?
That's true.
oh, that would be a really good
at
instructor
what
at the
point?
Academy.
At
Yeah.
what point does your Hollow Matrix degrade?
Never.
Never. We'll just say
But
never.
it's new at that time.
We'll
We
just
like,
say never. We'll just say never. It doesn't
Fine.
degrade. Yeah.
yes.
As long as David Cronenberg is the provost of Starfleet
I
Academy,
know.
Oh, could you imagine?
and that'd be awesome. Any other thoughts on the Academy show? I didn't really give mine, but I'm for it. I love CW shows. I love drama. I love Dawson.
I hope they don't go too far into the teen thing. I hope it,
I mean,
like they
Yeah.
didn't
I would be
they
happy
didn't do
with a
it
happy
with
balance.
they didn't do it with Prodigy,
Yeah.
right? It's a kid show, but
No.
it's for everyone. So
Yeah.
I hope it's
It
like that
also,
balance.
I mean, teen shows also really depend on who they cast.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So
And who writes them. So
well, it's Tawny Newsome. So
yeah,
I
there
just
you go.
rewatched first of Duty, so just do
Nice.
something like that kind of academy. I'll watch that.
Mhm.
Blew up shuttles and stuff.
Mhm.
Mm.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, there'll definitely be someone getting washed out in one of those kind of episodes. Yeah. So wait, what's going on, Giraffe? You're like fully in TNG mode right now?
Oh, I've been rewatching TNG like forever.
For how
It's
long?
just-
For just forever, like in a really slow burn?
I don't know, like because sometimes I watch like 2 episodes that are absolutely sorted, and I need to watch 17 episodes of Voyager in the middle. So I don't know. Like yesterday, I watched 2 terrible episodes. I was like, oh my god.
That
And
can
then you watch
happen.
two
Oh,
great
it is.
episodes.
And then I watched 2 great episodes. So you know, it was fun.
But see, this is
Yeah.
what's so great about like binging Voyager or DS9. It's just like you put it on, and then all of a sudden it's like 6 a.m. because they're just all you can't stop
Yeah.
watching.
No, I
Um,
watched like which one did I watch that was like absolutely horrible? Oh yeah, the one with violations
you watched
Yeah.
Violations and The Outcast. That's what
and
you
the
watched.
Outcast
Yeah.
like back to back, and it was like okay, I need a drink.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, and then the one with Worf and the plastic barrel.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
the
right,
barrels.
right, yes.
Yeah,
The
that one,
barrels.
yeah.
Ethics,
Yeah.
I think.
Ethics. Yep.
Ethics, yeah, that was a fun lineup. Like second part of season 5 is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Like they debate you with like the first part with like unification and against in row, and then the second part is just like roll the dice.
But then you got to watch
Yes.
First Duty, which is perfect for the news about Starfleet Academy.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. Well, they still killed the guy. I mean, it's kind of mean.
You want to hear an
It's the
awesome
Star Trek.
segue? Do you want to hear an awesome segue?
Yeah.
Speaking of killing guys, we have something going on this weekend, don't we? That was not an awesome
That
segue.
was really
We
bad.
do. Oh, the trivia.
Yes.
Yes,
we have trivia this
we're
weekend.
hosting the patrons trivia. I've done absolutely nothing. It's all MC, so I'm just gonna be here for the kicks. Actually, I could play because I don't even
You
know.
could, because I have not
Just play.
actually been sharing questions with you.
Yeah, so I'll be here for the puns, and MC will be our host.
Yeah, so the theme is the women of Star Trek.
The women.
And as I already promised, there will be multiple choice this time.
That was
And it's-
Eric gave me a funny voice. Look, sorry, that was like a throwback to when
Oh, I got it.
no, to when Promenade Merchants did their The Women pod on for Cats of Picard week. Sorry. Anyway, continue, MC. I'm sorry.
But there will be multiple choice, so hopefully I won't get fired. But day that ends in Y.
No guarantees.
Yeah. So what time is it at?
8:30 p.m. Or 8 p.m. 8 p.m. 8:30 p.m. I don't remember. It's
Pick
in
a
the
time,
basement,
Jeff.
guys.
It's one of those.
Sorry.
You could find it on our Patreon. Patreon.com/
For me, it's gonna be
Strange New
5
Pod.
p.m. So that's why I'm just.
Yeah, there you go. It'll be one of those times. But yeah, patreon.com/ Strange New Pod is where you can find out all the details about the trivia. Speaking of patrons, you guys, I saw some of you post your stickers. You already got some in the mail. Magnets are on their way. Fun stuff coming for you guys. So yeah, check it out. Strangely Loop. Yeah. Is it time? Yeah.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. And we're gonna talk about this scenario that happened this episode. Changelings are changeling, formidable, tricky, almost I don't know, beast mode in the Federation. Wait, what am I reading?
don't know.
I wrote this at 6 a.m. because I'm waking up early now. So even though Titan is alone, right? They have a bit of this upper hand, right? And decide to set this trap to get Vadic because they realize they don't have anybody to turn to anymore. Would you have gone about setting this trap differently, or would you have done this? How and why? Raise your hand, chat. Let us know as well.
I'll go first. It was a good idea, in a position of weakness, which they were in, and that it's always, setting yourself up as the bait, only to bring your enemy in to snare them into a bear trap is actually a pretty good strategy.
Mhm.
The main flaw, don't leave a malevolent android hooked up to the computer before you spring the trap. That's the only thing I really would have changed about that.
That was literally the thing that I would say. Don't leave the killer robot hooked up to the ship.
You could also like open up corridors so you could shift them down to one section instead of having them everywhere, right? Like I would have done that. Other than that, like it was a good plan, except for the lore thing.
This thing doesn't make sense at all to me. Like I was very agreeing with. I don't remember who said that. It's like we brought the problem on board, or we brought like the.
We invited death onto our
we
ship.
invited death on board. Like we brought in the problem. See, that's my translation. That's how I do it. I dumb it down. It's so dumb. Like, why would you do that? I know that the best attack, the best defense is attack, but I mean, they're goo.
Mm-hmm.
They're goo. Like that. This is going to backfire. Like 1,000%. Plus, how many of these like come on board? Like you saw 6, and then suddenly like they're 15, then they're 32. Like,
But like you said, they're goo, so we don't really know, right? Like
exactly.
they come out of all the orifices on the ship.
Also,
And
Plus,
like,
I think
yeah.
that initial one we saw with Vadic, and that was just kind of the opening salve. It's a big ship, so they were probably getting in through ports like all over the ship, trying to take control.
And so just Geordi was supposed to be able no, I mean, who was like closing down all the doors? Like they were.
It was
supposed to
7.
do that, like 7. I'm sorry, but that's a dumb plan. Like,
why didn't they wait till they brought their Klingon warrior back? Like, why didn't they wait till Worf came back to help with the fight?
Point.
Right? Or Raffi, who seems to also be some sort of warrior now. Yeah.
Anybody
they're
else?
like duplers. They absolutely
they are.
like duplers.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
duplers. Yep. Haven writes, I don't think it was a good idea because there are too many ways for it to fail. It was like the reversed Kobayashi Maru. I mean, yeah.
I mean, isn't that every plan in Star Trek?
It is. It is.
I mean,
yeah.
if it would have worked, it was the end of the story too. So we knew it was gonna fail.
Right,
kinda.
of course.
Like,
No,
they
you
had
do.
to. Yeah. No.
Eric,
don't
you're
hear
muted,
you.
bud. Can't hear you.
Fuck, I'm muted. Aren't they also like? Couldn't they have gone through the ceilings? Right? Was the force field all around them?
Well, I mean, like they mentioned that the force fields were hermetically sealed.
Oh, okay.
You know, because
Yeah.
of they were changelings. They knew who they were dealing
forgot.
with, right?
Fair.
So,
It's like Chapel in Strange New Worlds in a hermetically sealed force field, opening it for some stupid fucking reason in that episode. It's like the same. It's the same.
The
idea.
Gorn episode.
The
yeah.
Gorn episode.
all those who wander, yeah.
Yeah, all
just
those,
stay there.
Just stay there. You're safe.
Yeah.
You are safe. Ugh.
And they could have put a force field around the bridge.
Could have done a lot. Don't get me started on the bridge. Don't
Like,
get me started on the
They're
Shut
not
down the
taking
turbo
bridge.
lifts?
Narrator.
So many
they
things.
How did
totally
they-
took the bridge?
They came in through that back room, which isn't that the where they do their meetings?
It's the ready room.
Yeah. How did they?
Or the observation lounge.
I don't know.
Fucking know.
They go through there.
Okay. Like Trav said, one, I don't like this plan. 2, I have a much better plan, but it also would have been okay. Now we can go take care of the Frontier Day stuff because it would have been the end of Vadic. Did they forget that they have a cloaking device? They have a cloaking device. They could have
Apparently,
literally lured the Shrike there, been right behind her, and blown her to smithereens. Why not use that and then just blow it up? Right?
Because they want to know why
Star Trek.
they want Jack. That's
Yeah,
why.
Of course.
Exactly.
Of
They
course.
yeah.
Of course.
They
I
need
thought
answers
the
as
cloaking
much as
device
anything.
stopped working because of plot.
What
I
I
mean,
what I appreciate is that they had a set decker to come around and be like, let's make this one look dirty over here. We'll have one of these lights over here go down. Like they did the set really well. Like they made their ship look really good beforehand.
yeah, they did. What was I gonna say? Yeah, and it is true, right? If lore is not on board, this is a perfect plan, and it works.
It is
Yeah.
not a perfect
It
plan.
is, though.
Even without lore.
No,
Okay.
because Bev even says if you try to go through those force fields, it'll kill you. Like it'll be painful and it'll kill you.
Well,
So
here's the thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to work.
That,
so
yes,
it's a
okay,
And it
working
didn't.
plan.
Yep.
and it didn't. And it didn't.
Everybody forgot about the cloak. Don't worry, Tara.
Everybody
Even
forgot
the
Everybody
writers,
did.
even the
cloak.
writers forgot about it.
Maybe it was a one-time only
Everybody.
use. Maybe it doesn't
Mhm.
work anymore.
No,
Yeah, maybe it burned out.
They used it once, and then that's. I
I
don't
have
think.
to think.
I don't think they've used it again.
Indeed. Maybe. Who knows? Oh shit. Any other thoughts on the failed plan and what you would do? What would you have done?
I would have not done that.
I would have not done that.
I would have stayed hidden, first of all. I would have taken all the old ship from the Fleet Museum. Like, at the beginning, I would have done so many different choices. I would not be in this position to start with. That's where I am. And there's no way I'm in this situation.
But like the
Anyway,
Fleet
so-
Museum, how many of those are working? How many of those are just on display?
You have a
Everybody just
Geordi.
assumes those ships work. No,
You
yeah, but
have a Geordi. You think Geordi doesn't keep these ships working? Come on.
I don't think he keeps them like you can't just go on board and be like, I want to take the Defiant out for a ride.
Yeah,
You
how
know?
many
You know that-
teenagers would want to steal one of those ships? All of them. I
Okay,
would.
If you have a car collection or car, like, you keep some of this car working.
Yeah,
because
but that's
you're a
your
mechanic.
collection. You're
Right.
not. It's not like an organization's
on.
collection, right?
You
Like
know
the
Defiant isn't
Smithsonian doesn't
working.
have like
I don't
everything
think
working in
any
there.
of those ships can fly.
Maybe it's like when you're collecting toys and you've got to take the batteries out so that they don't like destroy the thing.
Let me rephrase that. I don't think that any of those ships can go to warp. That's what I'll say. I don't think
They do
have
parades.
dilithium
That's
in there.
it.
I think their warp cores are shut down. Like they're museum pieces.
Okay, sorry, but
do
the chat
think
is
they
agreeing with
needed
me.
to have like a scene like from The Princess Bride where they go over all of their assets because like half of their assets are kind of missing right now where they don't have Worf, they don't have Raffi. I mean, I know
warp
they're-
core because of corrosion.
Yeah,
Are you saying everything would be different if they had a Holocaust cloak?
always.
Okay. No way.
No way Voyager can go to warp. You know it's true. I'm right. These things, Geordi, kept them purring.
You think anybody but B'Elanna knows how to work Voyager at this point with all
Yeah,
the
and the other
modifications that she's
person-
made?
That's true.
The other person is Geordi LaForge. I can tell you for sure. I will put my life in front of this. I know, you know he went and he did a crashed course with B'Elanna Torres.
But also think
Like,
we
you
don't
know
know what
everything.
B'Elanna's doing right now.
That's true.
Other person working at the
True. Let's review this episode, guys. It
Yeah, right.
is our review. I mean, we could do that convo for another hour. No, please. It's a review of Dominion. That's episode 307 of Star Trek Picard season 3. Our roundtable order tonight is Giraffe, MC, Eric Hawk, and then myself. Jazz, like, I have to go first.
Oh my God, I'm
What?
first.
What? So, Tuvok or not Tuvok?
So
Two thumbs up on that one. Sorry.
Thank you. Let's talk about that cold open. It's the return of Tim Russ as not Captain Tuvok. What did you think about this exchange between the changeling? I'm not even going to call him by his name. It hurts me too much. And Seven. And at what moment did you know it wasn't Tuvok? It wasn't really him.
I
Draft.
knew the moment where he said, I don't know what Janeway is about. I was like, lies! Lies! You call her every night before going to meditation. We know. Come on, besties. You know that. I'm sure they have like, as like you can have like a tag on your phone to know where your friend is at all time. I'm sure Tuvok and Janeway have that.
So
I
how was
knew
your
it.
day?
Yeah, and I was like, I saw you went to the academy. How was it? Like, you know it. You know they keep tab on each other at all time. There is no way he doesn't know what she's about. Like, that's why I was like, no, absolutely not. And the fact that, like, the Calto thing, I was like,
Right? That's what threw me.
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, it was so good to see Tim Russ. And speaking of Star Trek Online, I'm playing right now all the missions with Admiral Tuvok and the Undine, so it's like super fun. So I was like, oh, you again? I hope they find the real Tuvok though.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I will say this. If you don't like actor spoilers, turn off, you mute your YouTube in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tim Russ made a very spoilery tweet today saying that he's in another episode this season. So,
Ooh.
Good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we've seen him in lower decks.
Yeah.
We may have seen him in Prodigy. Like, everybody's convinced he was there in the background, but and I'm like, Team Russ everywhere. Let's go.
Yeah.
Tuvok.
Yeah.
Tuvok. Like,
I mean, you can't tease us with Changeling Tuvok and then not give us real Tuvok,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
Like,
He's
put the man in makeup. He's gonna do another scene. Come on.
He's upstate at a farm drinking Romulan ale. He's fine. He's fine, guys.
he's good. He's happy, right?
He would
He's-
not drink Romulan ale.
This is a joke.
Texting Janeway.
This is a joke for
Oh.
when you send a pet upstate, to the farm.
I know, but I'm just, I'm saying that's a terrible joke.
It is a terrible joke. I agree.
Like Julian, they can
It
do
was-
whatever they want. I don't
It's
know what he's
fired.
talking about.
It wasn't.
I have no idea.
I'm
what's
sorry,
going
did I hurt your feelings?
No, I knew it was a bad joke. That's
on. I
why
like Romulan now.
I'm done. If everybody I don't know if we're still doing this review or not, but I'm done. Next one.
MC.
I loved seeing Tim Russ again, even though he was a changeling, because, like I said, Daddy Tuvok energy, and I loved seeing him with the captain's pips, and I went back and forth. I kept on was like, is he a changeling? No, like they played the Voyager theme and they really kind of leaned into it, and so I'm like, oh, we got another ally, and it's like, nope. And I died, and then I was reborn, and then I died again because it wasn't Tuvok. And kind of like, even without hearing anything from Tim Russ, like I kind of felt like they have to follow up on it. Like they can't just drop that in there and it's like, well, maybe Tuvok died, maybe the changelings killed him and replaced him. So
Don't say things like this.
Oh,
Fire her.
I can't. I have to at least wait till Saturday to fire her for trivia questions. Suck. I'm sorry.
I did say they can't. Like, I didn't say that that's what they're gonna do.
It's true. Real quick, I just want to say hello to one of our good friends in the chat right now. Tex Trek is in the house. Welcome. And he says he can't say he's getting ready for his show, but welcome. Good to have you. MC, were you good?
I'm good.
Eric.
No, there's no way that I was not surprised at all that he was a changeling. Fuck. Like, they're not going to go into the season with allies, or at least in the last 4 episodes. They're going to be on their own. They're going to have to, pull up their socks and do what needs to be done like the TNG crew does. The one part that screwed with me was the music when they started playing it, and then you got that soft look on on 7. I was like, fuck, no.
Oh, me too.
I think Giraffe had the soft look, yeah.
Yeah.
We all did.
And then, then they did that slow pan into her face, and she's like, oh, it's him. And then the fucking turn, I was like, fuck, yeah, I didn't think so. But seeing Tim Russ be evil is amazing. I want to see more of it.
Indeed.
Or the real one, whatever. He's dead.
Both could work. Yeah. Oh no.
Just shut up.
I don't like it. Oh,
See, this is why I'd be terrible in this situation on that, because he had me fooled.
of course.
Once they got
Too
through the
trusting.
Calto question, yeah, I know. Once they got through the Calto question, I was like, oh, woo, sigh of relief. Okay, now they have an ally in that. But 7, hands, you got hands down to 7 in that. She kept pressing it, and that she was not convinced.
It's a
And
Borg,
Telling you, it's the
Borg
Janeway
ingenuity.
thing.
Yeah.
No, she knew.
Yeah.
She knew. There's no way he doesn't know what Janeway is doing.
Yeah.
I gotta
yeah,
tell you,
yeah.
Tuvok's the perfect person to use. I think the only person that would have hurt 7 more would have been if it had been Janeway.
Or Naomi Wildman.
Oh, do not even bring that down.
Sorry.
The only thing is, I don't think the changelings would bother replacing her, because I know Naomi's like really smart and all, but I mean, she's probably only like a lieutenant commander or something.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
it does raise the question, though, in that, like, what are they doing? Like, with people they're replacing in that, are they killing them or are they storing them away for something else? I don't know.
Well, they still have Tuvok. That's what they said.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
allegedly.
Yeah.
They kind of alluded to it.
They're
that
probably
he-
pumping them for information and stuff, right?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
broke the chat with my Naomi comment. I'm so sorry,
Oh
guys.
Lord,
Oh,
Julian straight to jail.
I'm fired. I'm fired.
Yeah.
I met
Yeah, Tara, I don't think Chakotay would bother Seven as much as
no, she'd be like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
No.
It's like we went out, did we?
Did we though? No.
Speaking of Naomi, I'm just gonna throw it out because it was cool at WonderCon. I had some time to chat with Jimmy Dick, who invented Naomi Wildman and gave her her name.
Oh,
Oh.
that's
Oh.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
And
really
her
cool.
name, if you don't know that little piece of trivia, is the name of the person who gave their kidneys, died and gave their kidneys to his wife. And to honor them,
I did not
they
know that.
named Naomi Wildman. Yeah, that's the
Aw,
lore.
that's awesome.
I mean, he told me that, so I suppose
I
it's true.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So I kind of figured. I kind of figured at the beginning this has to be a changeling, right? But I was the minute Tim Russ, and he said it on the Ready Room today, just so easily goes back into the role, and the way that he delivered the Calto line, I was like, it's fucking Tuvok, baby, let's go, let's go. Because yeah, I'm repeating what everybody already said, but like they play the hero music. When you play the hero music, you know everything's fine, right?
Mhm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, they baited us.
No.
They got us.
No.
They got us bad.
Oh, they got me so bad. Oh, it hurt. It hurt. And Tim Russ, like, what a perfect way to do the reveal with a Vulcan smiling. Like,
What's happening in
Mhm.
the chat? Like, you guys don't understand my accent anymore? Or what is it? The sound? What's going on?
I mean, I can hear you. I can
I
monitor.
mean, you could always
this.
go louder if you want.
Yeah, if you want to turn your gain up a little bit more.
Turn it
Draft is
to
clear on
11.
my end.
Sorry, I
Chris says.
interrupted, but I see a lot. I need closed caption and so on. So I'm like wondering if there's a problem. You're generally quieter. Me? Quieter? I don't know. Like, Julian made me play with my sound. They say my sound is lower.
I don't know, why don't you turn your gain up a little bit more.
Which one? This one?
You're allowed,
How's
Tara.
How's that?
I-
My volume is lower than everyone else.
Well, you're
Not
loud.
now.
You're even louder. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, of course, in all of this talk about Tuvok, we haven't mentioned just like the digging the knife in even farther by showing dead Will Riker.
Oof. Yeah. That.
That hurt Julian, didn't it?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I threw it out there so you didn't have to.
Guys, I don't know what to tell you in the chat. Sometimes we have technical difficulties. It's a live show. I'm not saying this to be mean, but I'm sorry. You just kind of have to deal with it.
Yeah. I don't
Sometimes
know.
these things
Sorry
happen.
about
I don't know
that.
what to tell you guys. I'm really sorry. Shit happens.
Listen to the podcast.
You can go back and listen to the pod. Sorry. Let's move on to Vadic, to catch a Vadic. And as the way I put it, Starfleet dabbling in shit that they shouldn't be dabbling in. Shouldn't be dabbling in. We already talked about this in the Strange Loop. They realize that they're alone after the Tuvok incident. Titan, they're running out of ideas. And after a conversation with Jack, Jean-Luc decides to go on the offensive. Because why listen to a 92-year-old cyborg? And they attempt to capture Vadic, and they do. They use the guise of a Vulcan cruiser finding Titan and disabling them. I guess the cruiser also gets disabled in the process. Vadic takes the bait, and for a while is indeed captured on board. I guess I don't even know if I need to ask the question again, but we all kind of agreed this wasn't the greatest tactic.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I wonder. I don't understand what happened with the Vulcans, though. Like, is that an abandoned ship they found? Is that like what's happening? What's that ship about?
They're in a junkyard. They're in like a
Yeah.
scrap. They're in a
Okay, so
scrap
it's a
yard.
random ship that just found her, like a
Mhm.
Vulcan war cruiser. That just
Well, do you remember?
found
Do you
it.
remember in Unification 2?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
go and there's like all sort. There's Vulcan ships. There's Federation ships.
And so they were to like make a fake, like Mayday thing, and okay, that's a lot
Yep.
of production. They could have just hidden a lot of people on board of the Vulcan cruiser too.
They could have.
Wasn't it
I
like
mean,
partially
yeah,
destroyed?
I
They
thought
really
that's what
could've.
they were doing.
Sorry, Eric.
Wasn't it partially destroyed though?
It was. It looked.
Yeah.
It looked in like really rough shape. Like it looked like a disco era Vulcan cruiser. So who fucking knows how old that thing
Well,
was?
it was a
Yeah,
wreck
but
from
if
the
they had put on
Dominion
EV
War,
suits
so-
and let's just
Oh,
transport
okay.
it in.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we need to go into more detail about the tactic we talked about in the Strange Loop. Let's talk about once Vadic is captured, finally get to know who Vadic is, which, listen, everybody said it today on Twitter and our Discord. Amanda Plummer stole the fucking show in this episode. And then some. She tells Beverly and Jean-Luc her tale, how changelings were kept as prisoners of war by Starfleet intelligence. And let's face it, this is not just Starfleet intelligence. This is right up Section 31's alley.
Mhm.
And yeah, they experimented on them to make the perfect undercover agent, which is already hugely problematic because it's so anti-Starfleet. And like, how do you expect to control that, right? Like, how do you ever expect to control? Obviously, they didn't. They fucked up, and we have Vadic for it. It obviously backfires, and Vadic takes the shape of her torturer, which is a whole woof, man. And then she recruits the others that were held to go about her revenge plot here. Thoughts on this? Because at the end, you're kind of, the Dominion and the Changelings, are not a guilty party here, but at the same time, you have to have some sympathy for them here. No, Giraffe.
Well, I don't know. Aren't there like laws? Like the Geneva Convention doesn't exist anymore? Like what is this? The Empire? Like I don't know. They're experimenting on sentient species, and even if you're prisoner of war, I mean, you'd expect the Federation to have some stuff in place for that. Like
How many times have we seen like episodes that deal with like Starfleet officers breaking like all the rules and that for the pursuit of like the greater good?
the trouble with Edwards.
Yes. The Pegasus.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it a bit wonky that it's the Daystrom Institute because it's funny because of the panel. We watched a lot of things about the Daystrom Institute, but basically it's a research center. Like you would have like Scripps Oceanography here, for example. They're like not just a thing doing whatever the hell they want, and it's just weird that there's no thing in place, no power that be like a person alone in their lab on the Daystrom Institute.
It's not
experimenting on
Daystrom
their
Institute. We should clear that because it's two different places. We have the Daystrom Institute, which is in Okinawa.
It's Daystrom Station.
And then you have
Oh,
Daystrom
Daystrom
Station,
Station.
which
Isn't it the
is-
same thing?
No, there's two. So
They
there's
just
two.
name it the same way so we
They-
can be confused.
100% because it's
God.
Star Trek. But Daystrom Institute, I mean Daystrom Station, I have to imagine is like a black site.
So it's
right,
like
like-
Phoebe
Mhm.
Station, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, still, I think it's kind of crazy that if there's experimentation going on like this, then there's no way to safeguard it. Like even right now, people that experiment on viruses, like there's a lot of like protocols in place to shut down the place and burn it to the ground. And just like, oh, so she just left? Like, okay. I think like it's a good story, just like a bit wonky. It's just very 1950s, where you experiment on people and then a villain happens. Okay, I like Vadic a lot. I just don't
Yeah.
buy the. I'd like Star Trek to be better, and I know that I joined the crew, the crowd of people who are like, oh, Star Trek is too dark. It's not that Star Trek is too dark. That's not my problem. It's just that if you're gonna go very dark stories and like use experiment on people, then make it like a lesson. Make it, I don't know, like explain how that went wrong or
I feel like
use
the
it.
lesson is Amanda Plummer right now, though, right?
That's
Mm.
true.
yeah, but it's kind of like the same lesson that we've seen in Westworld, for example.
It's
Like,
true.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. It's just like, okay,
But
okay, then.
So I agree with you, but also at the same time, this isn't new at all for the Federation and Starfleet when it comes to the Dominion and Changelings. They literally created a genocidal virus to kill them. You know, like
And
so
I mean,
it's
and
not
goes
control.
back to
in,
that,
in Deep
right?
Space Nine.
and
Well,
control in Discovery, and like
yeah.
it's again and again and again
Yeah.
the same thing. Like, when are you gonna learn anything? Like,
I
it's
do
been
have to
300
ask,
years.
what is worse, the changeling virus or turning these changelings into what I'm guessing would be like Manchurian candidates?
I don't think that
Yeah.
you can compare. They're both equally hard acts,
Yeah.
right? Like they're not like one of them is not worse or better than the other.
They're both just super war
absolutely
crimes.
fucking horrible. And yes, and war crimes. And it goes to like what people talk about. It's like, how does Starfleet keep turning a blind eye to Section 31? Like how do they allow this to keep happening? It's a good point.
I mean, I feel like it made sense that people turned a blind eye to Section 31 during the actual Dominion War because
Agreed.
it seemed to
Yeah.
actually be a secret, but it is not anymore. Like the Dominion War, I think, blasted that wide open. Like they're having Brad Boimler make references to it. So like we done knew about Section 31.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fact
I think
that
it's just a bit too easy. I don't know. I like if there's something that tragic and that horrible happening in Star Trek, that they use it as, more than a plot device, because it's still torture on sentient being, and I don't know. It's
Yeah.
wrong. Let's like make it clearly wrong, or like, I don't know. In DS9, these moral conundrums are so well exploited. Like,
Right.
you
Mhm.
really think about it. You're
Mhm.
like, with Cisco in the Pale Moon Line, and you're like, oh my God, like, what would I've done? Here, you just like, oh, I would have not done that. This is very wrong. And
Yeah.
you move on, there's no conundrum, there's no reflection going around.
I don't know.
So,
I feel like Jean-Luc and Bev are pretty like, oh,
yeah, Jean-Luc is like,
shit.
I did not know that. Shut the.
No, but like the way
Dude,
he's
it's not
talking
about
about
you.
like Vadic taking the face of her torture and
Yeah,
like
but
all,
see, sorry guys.
No, no,
I'm
no,
almost
no,
done.
no, go ahead.
No,
Go
but
ahead.
like,
Come on,
see,
we
for
wanna hear
example, like we have. Where is season 1 Picard? They was so mad at the Federation for what they did to the Romulan, how they abandoned people and like turned a blind eye. And it's yet again the same Federation doing that same shady shit. And all he has to say is like, I did not know. Where's the rage, Picard? Where's the I'm gonna break the camera Picard from season 1? Because I like that guy, because that brought the, oh shit, I'd be mad. I want to stand up. I'm like, this is not right. Here's just like, I'm sorry. And like,
To
dude.
be absolutely fair, the changelings and the Dominion are responsible for some really horrible shit. Like really bad fucking shit. So we can't forget that they are like true bad. Does it make it okay to experiment them? Fuck no. Like it's bad. Like it is not okay. But they
The
are
Romulans were bad too.
bad guys. We always talk about this though. We don't necessarily agree that the Romulans are bad guys.
I mean, they're
Right?
great opponents. But okay, for me, it was like a callback to World War II. Like, for example, Japanese army, testing on prisoners.
Right.
That's well
Right.
known. That doesn't excuse what the US did to the Japanese American. And
Mhm.
there's a whole way to
No,
be
of course,
like,
I
this
agree
is
with
not
that
fair.
completely.
This is not
Yeah.
okay. Just like, oh, I didn't know. Like, you cannot not react to something because you didn't know. And that's where I felt that these war plots were just put a little bit under the rug. They like illustrate something absolutely horrible, didn't address it, and we're like, see, that's why now the bad guys are mad. And I'm like, this should be like more. There should be more conversation around this. There should be more example, more conundrum. Again, Deep Space Nine is so great at this. And that
I
was
wanna-
just like
I want to
fast.
read Stress Free K's comment in the chat real quick. The problem is Vadic is not a reliable historian, so Picard might be a little suspicious of her retelling. Do you agree with that? Yes or no?
But he's also
No.
like, history is written by the winners, right? So
Mhm.
who knows if Starfleet's even telling
Great
the truth, right? Who knows who has the reliable source? Only the people that were there would actually know. And going off the Picard from season 1 that Giraffe was saying, he, like, it's so strange because he went straight to, let's kill her. She has no more info anymore, right? Like, he got to that point in this episode, and you're like, normally, I feel like in season 1, he would have tried to, like, save her or, like, save her people too. Like, I don't know.
Make it right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I
Well,
don't know.
he okay, and I'm not trying to defend because I thought it was weird too. Like I agree with you guys, but at the same time, you have to look at Jean-Luc's point of view right now too. He's in full like protect Papa Bear mode. You
Yeah.
just realized he has a son. He's doing everything to protect him. Dude, I was talking about how I'm emotionally compromised about something that we can't talk about right now. Like he's emotionally compromised and not making.
That's
good
also why it
decisions.
shouldn't be him and Beverly there with her and just those
yeah,
two.
that's a great
Very
point.
good point.
Yeah.
Why isn't Shaw taking point on this? I mean, he's the fucking captain.
That's a great point. Yep.
Is he still?
Who knows?
In
knows?
name, at least. I do have to say, like, between this episode and The Mandalorian a couple of weeks ago, I keep on having my favorite shows make me go, a plague on both your houses, with because like every side in all of these wars are always terrible,
Yep.
no matter what.
Oh, it's so true. Great Romeo and Juliet reference. Well done.
English major, man.
Hell yeah.
Okay, wait.
Hell yeah.
Is somebody telling me that I'm inappropriate? Guys, English is my like fifth language. Sorry if I was not exactly precise on what I was saying. I am not linking the Japanese Imperial Army to the Japanese Americans that were interned in the camps. That is not
Oh,
what I said.
no.
And we all know that is not what I said.
No.
So sorry if I was not understood. We can do this in French if you want. I'll be way more precise. And please don't put things in my mouth that are like, I mean, don't put things in my mouth. In general, but, you know me enough to know that is not what I was saying.
I knew what you were saying. I knew 100%
I think it was
what you were
pretty
saying. It's
apparent.
pretty fucking clear.
But even
yeah.
like, you don't even have to go back that far with like militaristic like organizations thinking they're doing the right thing, even if they are like experimenting or using them for whatever trials. Like you can go back like 20 years, 15 years. Like it's still happening. I think that's part of what they're showing. Like that it's just gonna. Oh, it's a terrible thing to keep perpetrating through time. Like, but I don't want to say it's human nature, but there are people that take any means necessary for whatever they think is the greater good, and that's fucking terrible.
Yep. And I know we just kind of all went with that and not in order, and that's perfectly fine. Are we good on this? Do we want to move on? Anything else on her backstory and Project Proteus?
I had a couple things.
Yeah, go ahead.
First up, there's, I think this is her backstory is kind of a reference to the DS9 episode, The Begotten, when Odo, the Quark and the Changeling, right, and found out exactly what happened with Odo
with
and
Dr.
that.
Mora.
Yeah, he did pretty much the exact same thing to Odo, and that, just trying to get him a response. He would expose him to all sorts of stimuli. And this
The
is
difference being he didn't know that Odo was a
sentient
being.
Yeah, and this is like basically that working at maximize or 10 to the nth degree. Secondly, as far as like Section 31 and that that Starfleet should know more and that, but at the same time, these kinds of organizations and that kind of take on that role of being the protectorate of like a nation or a federation, and that they have a way of like operating it like so in the dark that even like knowing their name doesn't matter. They have perfected the process of where the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, and that and take Daystrom Station for example, and that like if you are going to be running experimental projects, and that it's probably best to keep it like in plain view. You know what I mean? I'm not wording this right.
No, you are. It's
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Nothing-
it's like Daystrom Station has an air. They operate these terrible experiments under the auspice of like a great man. Like Daystrom. It's like.
I mean, great man. Daystrom was kind of a weirdo too.
He was a weirdo.
He
Yeah,
was a weirdo.
okay. Like,
Very true.
but name a genius who isn't like a total
A genius,
weirdo.
yes.
Yeah, exactly. What else I'd say? I kind of lost it. But yeah, Picard, yeah, him saying I don't know, and that again, yeah, it doesn't make it any better what happened to her and that, but again, at the same time, they're in panic mode, and that not only is he trying to protect Jack and that, he's also trying to figure out what the hell is going to happen on Frontier Day. So I guess like this is something he'll probably address after the crisis is over, but right now he's just in defense mode.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. And the general feeling that I'm getting from the chat, and a few people said it, is that one, in war, there's absolutely no innocence. That's from Ensign Roaron. And for Takako, war is just terrible all around and makes people on every single side do horrible fucking shit. So, yeah.
War, what is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. All right. Lighten it up. Speaking of lightening things up, Lore's bored. Lore's bored. He's bored. Why does Lore do half the shit that Lore does?
Chaos.
Chaos. Thank you, Eric. Chaos. That's right. Fucking chaos. So of course he
Giraffe has
prevents
words.
Jack and sorry.
Giraffe had words.
Giraffe had words?
No, I'm gonna go. So fine, Tina, you tell me. Sorry. Like the chat is insane tonight. You guys, you need to take a chill pill. Everybody.
Yeah,
Get a
what is
drink.
going on?
Get a
folks?
drink. I don't know. Like what
Do
what
a
is
shot
that?
of some tequila or some Romulan ale.
Yeah, it's
Oh
the
my
weather. I
goodness.
don't know. What is it? The alignment of planets? Like, I don't know.
He prevents so Lore prevents Jack and Sydney from being beamed to safety after the trap is set, and yeah, he just begins to take over all of the ship's systems and finally disables the force fields holding the changelings and Vadic back, because of course he does. Of course he does. Allowing Vadic to take the ship. What do we think about Lore coming front and center here and that kind of internal struggle that he's having with Data? Jeff.
This is such a bad idea to start with. Like, again, what would I have done in that situation? I would not have been in this situation to start with. This is such a dumb decision. Like, nobody was like, let's not do that. Nobody. It was just like, oh yeah, let's play with it. Doop, 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 doop. And I don't think Lore is just spreading chaos. I think Lore knows what they're doing. I think Lore is going somewhere and Lore is doing something. I don't think he's just here to be bored and be whatever. I hope that there's another plot. I love the scene with Geordi. It's beautiful.
That's so
that's what
good.
That's what we're talking about, right? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just
so
making
trying
sure we're
to
not talking
follow
about
the
Geordi later.
chat.
No, talk about Geordi in that because it is beautiful. Yeah.
All right, so I was so glad to see Geordi. I mean,
Geordiing.
yeah, Geordiing. And first of all, oh my God, Lever Burton is such a gorgeous man.
He is a good looking man.
He's good looking. So I was like, oh my God, look at that silver fox. Yeah, it's like these. Oh, did things to me. It worked. It works. It incredible. And then that scene with Dada was so beautiful because it was so sincere. It was so true. It was. You made me a man. You made me a father. What is it like? You made me
A better
the
man,
man,
a
better
better
man, a
man,
better
a better
father.
father. It was so good.
Mhm.
It was great. I like the fact that Dada is just like not here right now, and there's this struggle going on. I think that's great. I think that puts everybody in that situation where he's like, "Captain, help me, Captain." I was like, "Do something, Picard. Do something, damn you!" And they just like switch it off. What? So, I think it's a really good plot. It's really giving all the feels. It's making all, like, everybody kind of like shifting, and it's the changeling by itself. It's like, we don't know if it's Lore or Data. It's like a changeling plot for Data too,
Mhm.
But I really, really think that they should not have plugged it into the computer. It's like,
Yeah.
Or at least
Just
unplug
But
it.
okay, but like how like you talk about how we were talking about weeks ago how the holodeck has its like own dedicated power source.
Mhm.
Geordi, you used to run like the flagship of the Federation, dude. Like, put him in his own dedicated power source, man. Like, don't
The
link him
killer
into the main
robot
computer.
Like a holodeck. He could have just brought him into a holodeck.
yeah,
Oh.
true. Damn. Like, they were like, it's a separated, like, use that. That is dumb.
Pull a Lieutenant Gaeta when he has to re-network Galactica for like a hot minute, and just like make sure you have some fail safes so they don't just take over the ship immediately. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I went deep with that BSG reference. I'm sorry, but I'm not.
That was a good one, though.
Thank you. Giraffe, are you good?
Yes.
MC.
Well, first of all, live long and bite me for stopping mentioning LOL. Like, I will not forgive them for that. Like, I can't, like, I will just say up front, I loved this. But the not mentioning Lol thing after bringing her up, that's just like the hill I will die on, because I was so mad in this one how they're just like Soong and B4 are memory only. It's Data and Lore who are like, you know, in control. And I'm like, well, what about Lol? Like, you mentioned her and now she's just like completely out of this narrative. So why'd you bring her up in the first place? You got my hopes up and then you crushed my spirits. But I mean, so much of what Giraffe said applies to me too. I'm not super into the whole Jekyll and Hyde thing. In the back of my mind, I was a little bit, who is this Picard falling into its previous season, second half of the season problems, where they're just like throwing shit into like, oh, we need to extend the plot out. But I have hopes that, I mean, they do seem to be integrating this a little bit better than they have in seasons 1 and 2, like adding problems. And just like the scene with Geordi was just so fucking good. Like, LeVar Burton was amazing. And we had that mention of or the line about the better person and better father in the trailers, and I thought for sure he was going to be saying it's Picard. Like, they kind of set it up like that, and it's like, oh no, this is better, like having it be Data. Like, I think Tara in the chat said Data / Geordi forever, and I'm like right there with you. Like, I'm pretty sure that Geordi is already planning. It's like, how do I bring this guy home and introduce him to my wife? Like, because this is going to be a thing now.
Yeah.
We just got to take care of Lore.
I wanna go back to what you were just saying about, like, is this falling back on previous seasons of Picard, and like that middle lull that's like kind of doomed the first 2 seasons of the show. And I'm gonna say it doesn't, because like I actually thought about this a lot today after the first time I watched this episode, because this is my favorite episode of the season. It's a middle episode. It has issues, but what I love about this episode is, for its issues, the issues are worth talking about. And it's like still a very compelling episode, and it's still furthering the plot along, where in seasons 1 and 2, it just was like at a stall, right? Like there's no stall here. Everything is just, it keeps moving. And yeah, it has issues, but it's still like so night and day over what those like 7th episodes of those previous seasons were. So
yeah, I think just what my problem was, just like, as soon, like, it's like, oh, we'll bring Data in, Data will help everything, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, it's actually Lore, which to me really kind of hit me very much like the whole Borg Queen thing from last season. So this is executed much better, but there was just that kind of like PTSD moment from the last 2 seasons.
Oh, of course. No, of course. Yeah. Eric.
Hi.
Hey.
I like this Lore Data duality because the whole idea that that Data has been trying to be a whole human, but he's such a pure being, and without that, you know, that the darker half, he can't really be a human. I think that's an interesting idea. It also mirrors what that Vulcan gangster said earlier in the season, where he's like, you can't have paradise without, you know, evil. Yeah. So like,
wow, nice throwback.
I loved it. I think it's great. Plus Brent Spiner gets to do his Gollum thing, so he gets to switch between the two of them, and like he's he needs to get his money. The Paramount money. The Geordi and Data thing, I think, is probably some of my favorite some of my favorite things I've ever seen in Star Trek, at least this TNG cast, because they've been best friends for what, 30 years, 40 years, and we never saw the fallout of him dying in Nemesis with Geordi. Like, we don't know how, like, they were best friends. We don't know. We saw how Picard reacted, but he was sort of like a mentor thing. But they were bros. He like just to hear him.
Some would argue maybe more.
Yeah. Still, like, it's the future. They could do whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck yeah.
They definitely loved each other, and to see that Geordi was broken, and maybe this was part of the cause of him being overprotective with his daughters too. And showing him vulnerable around Data was just such a good, like, LeVar Burton, man, he needs to be in more things because
Yes.
he was
Like
a
Jeopardy.
delight. Like Jeopardy, exactly.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to have his best friend pull him out of lore and bring him back to the light, that's such a beautiful moment. And the ease that Brent Spiner can just switch straight back to Data. I loved it.
Oh,
It was great.
perfect.
I love
Yep.
this. I want to see more. I can't wait. I want more. I wanted to see Shaw and Geordi be bros, but Data's back, so I'm just gonna Shaw can go to the side. He can sulk in the corner and be like, I wanted to be the best friend.
Can I join too?
Set phasers to love me.
Oh. Fuck.
Oh god, I'm actually really glad they've got to explore this. It's something I didn't think I needed in that, but yeah, the fact that they brought up the whole kind of struggle in that, because really, like in TNG, like the struggle between Data and Laura is like, it's the Cain and Abel of the series, right? So like this story that goes, it's like older than time and that. And when you talk about Laura and that, I mean, we talk, is he just chaotic just for the sake of being chaotic? No, it's like he's, as he said, he's a survivor in that. Somewhere along the line, he got twisted up. I mean, it goes like even back as far as like season 1 and TNG and that. He was
He was literally floating around in space for a little while.
I know, but he was Soon's first
Peanut
experiment,
hamper.
first successful experiment in the positronic mind, except the fact that he gave him emotions and that ended up twisting him, in a way that Soon could never have predicted, which is the way a lot of experiments go, right? Not, you create one thing expecting it to be a boon to, humanity, and then it ends up being like, a burden,
Sorry.
Don't die, please.
You okay?
Keep going.
Okay. Where was I going? The fact that they now share the same body is it's almost kind of a perfect metaphor, right? And
Mhm.
like it's, as Eric said, in that one can't exist without the other. Data
You can't have one without the other.
Data's purity and the way he viewed like life, and it was always it was always great. It was naive and childlike and something he aspired to be, whereas Lore, with his emotions and that, everything got twisted for him, and that was the dark half of humanity. And that
You need that yin with that yang, right?
you really
Yeah.
do, right?
Yeah.
I could write I should write a thesis on Lore.
I
Damn,
would
do
I
it.
would read it.
I would read that.
Fucking read it. Dude, we have a blog.
That's true.
Write it, please. Giraffe, I've choked on my own saliva so many times, and I'm with you.
She was thinking about LeVar Burton.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Eric went into my positronic brain and said literally everything that I was gonna say. So I don't really know what else to say. I fucking loved everything between Lore, Data, and Geordi. LeVar's delivery when he thinks that Sydney, and honestly, I was actually convinced that Sydney was going to die in this episode. The minute that big grunt changeling throws her up against the force field, I'm like, oh, you're going to do it. And when Geordi screams like, God damn it, Lore, it's like your heart just drops.
And they say that Star Trek swear too much. I would not have said God damn it.
Nope. I'm like, you motherfucker, Lore.
Yeah, right. I was like too low. Yeah.
Oh man. And just I feel like I'm beating a dead horse by saying it, but Brent Spiner switching back between Lore and Data is some of his best work he's done on any of the shows. It's just so good. And it's cool to see Brent Spiner just get to play with Lore, maybe for the last time, right? Like, because I think the last that we got with Lore was Descent 1 and 2. So it's been a long time. So I'm happy with whatever we get for it. I just thought the acting was brilliant. Oh, just Geordi. Geordi and Data is just such a beautiful relationship, and it's like, it's like the relationship that's always stood the test of everything that the Enterprise crew has been through, right? Like you've had Jean-Luc and Bev be off and on, Riker and Imzadi, just like, they, do their thing, and it's just like they're always the ones, that are together, and it's just I love their relationship so much.
The only thing that would make their relationship better for the rest of the season is if they dressed up as Sherlock Holmes and Watson again to solve the rest, to solve the changeling stuff. I would be down with that.
What do you say, Sherlock, old boy? Yes, give it to me.
So chat has really attached itself to the positonic brain, thinking that it would be a great drink. Maybe we come up with something for next week.
Okay, the positronic brain, the drink. I'll try and come up with something.
Positronic drain, or like
I said positonic instead of positronic, and
positonic.
I'm seeing champagne in there somewhere because of Data's skin.
Positonic Jan.
Well, okay, so Karen, my wonderful, lovely wife, brought me a beautiful bottle of infused raspberry and blackberry gin from England. So be ready for a gin drink, because y'all are making fun of me in the chat, and I will make you a good cocktail for my slip up. Give me more Geordi and lore and Data, please. Where are we? Trivia. Trivia. Last week we asked, this was a gimme, guys. We asked what the registry number was of the USS New Jersey, and the answer was NCC 1975. We had 4 entries this week, and our winner is Joe from our mod squad. Welcome. Why did I say welcome? Congrats, Joe. Good job. You'll be getting one of the... I haven't shown them in a couple of weeks. Should I go grab them real quick? I feel like I should, so people know what they're getting.
I forgot what their people are getting.
Poster.
So I need to see it.
Posters.
The poster.
The posters. That's true. I remember now. What's happening?
I do this and then I fuck up my entire whole setup. One of these beauties, you could actually kind of see it hung up on my wall too. But look at those. And they have a really nice, like, glossy finish as well.
Nice.
So a few people should have already gotten theirs. Yeah, so answer our trivia. And we have our question. Hawk, can you take our question this week, please?
Love to. So on this week's episode, Vadic is whistling something. What is it that she is whistling?
Indeed. And how could people answer the question, Hawk?
They can get in touch with us you can email your answers to the trivia at strangenewpod.com or DM Julian on Discord.
Yep. It's simple. It's easy. Some people are talking about it in the chat right now. So
I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't know it's a thing. It was just random. I don't know the song or whatever.
Nope.
Right.
So get your answers in. Let's go into our final talking point tonight. That's Jack's abilities and Jean-Luc's revelation. We see Jack in this episode display a new ability, and that's he goes all like Professor X, right? And
I wrote that in my notes too.
Did you really?
Same. Hard same.
That's awesome. Yeah, he goes all Professor X and is able to speak telepathically with others. In this case, Le Crush, Sidney LaForge, the ship that everybody's shipping right now.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think about the new Professor X development?
Okay,
Giraffe.
so when he started like listening to her, and I mean hearing her, I suppose in the turbo lift, I was like, okay. I wonder, does she see his eyes turn red, or is just a way for us to know that he's doing something?
I think that's a way for us. Because
other characters don't see it happening, right?
Because Sidney got the red eyes too when they were talking.
I'd be freaking out.
Yeah, everyone would be freaking out.
So...
She did pull a phaser on him at one point, so she did freak out.
He did just control her, so
yeah.
Well, the guy, okay, see, it's like Sidney. She's in a turbo lift with that guy. Like they're being like kind of flirting, but like they're like running away from the law. Like people trying to kill them.
And they're still strangers.
Yeah. Oh, how is your quarter? She's like, small. I'm an ensign. Oh, mine are like pretty cool, like I have a big apartment, girl. Like, do you want to come over? And she's like, maybe not. She doesn't answer. And then he touches her hand. Like, I'd be like, absolutely not. In her side, this is so creepy, Like, she's thinking of all that and being like, oh my God, that guy is like, 10,000 tons. And and he's like touching her hand. You're like, dude, no, absolutely not. Well, so that's side note. All that time, I was only thinking of Dal when he has like the genetic enhancement and he's start developing powers after powers after powers and he doesn't know what to do with it. Totally the vibe. So, is he an augment?
Borg sperm.
Borg sperm. It's Borg sperm.
Yeah.
It's
When in
Borg
doubt.
sperm. I think it's. No, I'm not. I'm not even
I
shitting.
don't know
I'm still going with that theory.
Because what's her name? Vadic says like you were not supposed to have him, or like it was not supposed to.
He was
come to
not
you.
meant for you.
He was not
He
meant
was
for
not
you.
meant for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
is he an
Let me double
augment?
check my note on that.
Yeah, I wrote
Yeah.
it down.
like-
No, you're right, Hawk.
Yeah.
No, that is the line.
It wasn't meant
Yeah.
for you either. And so were they like trying to do like some experiment and I don't know, and she was losing the pregnancy. I don't know. They did something to her and he is genetically modified. We know there's some genetic modification going on with him. Like come on. So did she use some?
Simon
that
says in the
he
chat
was
that he
not-
might have been meant for the queen.
We all meant for the queen.
We are, and that queen's name is Narissa.
So yeah, I just thought of this. I just thought like Dal was like suddenly able to hear thoughts and like suddenly able to fight like super well and then control people. If it's the same powers one after the other. So I'm telling you, he's Dal's brother.
Imagine if Sydney really wanted to fuck with him a little bit, be like, yeah, I'll take you to my quarters, and it's like literally the lower decks like bunks, right? All right, and we're gonna just do it in front of everybody.
I mean, like it seems like the lower deckers are kind of used to that, like with Mariner and Jennifer.
Jennifer.
If I may, Boimler on the Titan was a lower decker and he had quarters. He was not sleeping in the corridor.
Wait, where was this?
On the Titan?
That's because he was a lieutenant. He got promoted.
Yeah.
No,
He got-
that is clone. No?
No. He was promoted at the end of season 1 to lieutenant junior grade. That's why he got the fancy quarters.
I'm pretty sure the Titan is fancier than a California class anyway.
I mean,
don't you think?
yeah.
Also,
That's
Jennifer
not-
had quarters too, so they wouldn't have been doing
Yeah.
it in the.
And I mean, also, as Jack pointed out, like most of the crew had been evacuated. That's why he had like the sweet.
Sweet.
True. The sweet. Also, that wasn't Jennifer's quarters. It was her
Was her buddy?
besties, who was, I believe, a
Yeah.
lieutenant.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
MC.
Yes. Kind of want to hum the X-Men animated series theme right now. But then I usually want to do that. Should have known you boys would be able to help me out on that. But yeah, no, seriously, the entire time I was watching this episode, I was just like, well, he is Professor X's son.
It's true.
Yeah. I like I like Crasher. I am kind of feeling this. But this does go to show you that people can think of things and not actually mean it. That's a general rule for all telepaths out there, that, not everybody thinks of things that they actually want to have gone through, even if it's something as easy as, touching a hand. And as for like the other stuff, like the just everything that happened, I mean, first of all, like, holy shit, like I really did think that they were going to kill Sydney.
Yeah.
And then when they actually got into this whole like puppet master thing, it's just like, what does this mean? Like, seriously, what does this mean? And I do think like the Borg theory does hold up, because if you actually look at what he's doing, like connecting with other people and controlling them, is Jack forming his own collective?
Yes, he is.
Like a biological
Yes, he is.
collective.
He is. He absolutely is. the Borg Queen, who created Locutus, we learned this in Voyager, can see through other drones' eyes and control their movements. It's Yep.
Where's Borgatti?
Where's Borgatti? It's a good question.
Right?
Yeah.
Um.
Keeper of the gates, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they stuck there forever. That's where they live.
Forever.
They're dead end.
The mutant powers. I don't know how I feel about this. I like the relationship. I like LaCrush. I think they're cute. I ship them. I will be down with seeing future adorable awkwardness between them. There's something about reading someone's mind without their consent that really throws me, and it made me feel weird. And then controlling someone without their consent also made me feel weird. Do I think it's cool? I do think it's cool because I like mutant powers. I like X-Men. I don't know how he could be controlling people if there weren't Borg implants in them, though. That's the only, like, when I go towards the Borg theory, I'm like, it's cool, but she's separate from like any collected drone, right? I don't like the damsel in distress thing. They do it so often, and especially Picard, and having Sydney become another damsel in distress, just especially since she seems so capable, she seems like such a badass. It would be like Ortega's going into damsel in distress mode. I would not like that either.
Yeah.
And she is like Picard's Ortega's. Yeah, I thought it was cool, but there are parts that just threw me. I didn't.
Yeah, the damsel certainly doesn't help because, I mean, how many episodes are we in now and we still haven't really seen Deanna?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's the Borg. I'm gonna throw some cold water onto that theory right now.
I like how you're thinking. Let's go.
Because they're like, let's face it, they're not the only species in Star Trek with telepathic powers and that, and like the changelings themselves and that, they're linked in consciousness. And
That's true.
I can't remember exactly.
The species 8472 was it?
Yeah. Yep, they're
telepathic too.
I feel like the biggest argument for that is none of those species like brought his father into their ranks.
True. But I mean, there was a misdiagnosis. We know this now of the Irmotic syndrome, and that maybe it's something that looks and presents like it in that, but could be something completely different in that. The biggest thing I keep getting from it is like serious Gary Mitchell vibes in that.
Yes, I was thinking that too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And as regards to the Sydney fight, I don't think he was controlling her. He formed a telepathic link with her in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was telling her what to do.
Yep.
Not controlling her, telling her what to do in that. And I think that's how he defeated all those changelings in that, like in that first episode. When you can see what a person is thinking and what they're about to do, you can
telegraph
they telegraph themselves in that. And I think he opened up a link with her to, give her that ability that she desperately needed at that moment, of that roll left, duck, swing. Yeah.
I mean, you can tell me that, and I'm gonna get still killed.
I
mean, you can tell me, well, I'm gonna be
Starfleet
really
officers.
sad. I don't know how far.
Not everybody gets into Starfleet. You have to know how to defend yourself.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, one thing that Eric, you're saying you're not sure about the reading of the minds and controlling people. I don't think Jack is controlling this. Like, I think it's just kind of like instinctual.
Like it could just be a power emerging and he doesn't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand that. It's just still
like
weird
a mutant.
Like a mutant, exactly.
We're already talking about evolution in this series, right? So this is one of the prominent themes in that the changelings, they evolved, through the worst means ever, and that was by the experimentation and that and the way that they were changed in that. This Jack could represent something that humanity hasn't seen yet, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call now what's going on with the changing an evolution when they've been literally modified.
Mm,
You know, it's not really like they evolved. They were like, no, they were genetically modified.
that's
You're
right.
not gonna
They're
say
augmented.
that the corn evolved out of no, we genetically modified the corn, you know? So I don't know.
I wonder if
I'm using Bev's words on that.
I wonder.
That was true, but that was also before she
Yeah.
knew
Yeah,
about the
before she knew,
torture.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I also wonder if we had this lesson about the Federation genetically modifying changelings. Like, I wonder how long ago these people have infiltrated Starfleet. Like, could they have also experimented on Bev, and that's the reason why they want the baby? Like, they could have done their own experiments at that point. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just gonna say fuck you to the writers because like we've kept on saying like no more augment stories, no more augment stories. They snuck an augment story
They
in
did.
there.
They
Just-
totally did.
Yeah.
They totally did.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we
True.
did.
Final bit here. Data and lore also shares, or data lore. I don't know what the fuck to call them. Data lore. I like
Data
it.
lore.
Data
Yeah.
lore also shares with Jean-Luc that Daystrom had come to the conclusion that his Irimotic syndrome may have been a misdiagnosis, and that Jean-Luc, besides being a former Borg, in lore's words, was perfectly imperfect. What's going on? Giraffe.
Well, I think that's evolution, maybe. That's
Mhm.
like he was mutated. Like, you know, that happens. Like people are born like with all kind of like random mutation, you know? So maybe he was actually just a rando with that interesting mutation in him that made him special and, you know, and misdiagnosed. I'm sure it's gonna be something way more complicated. Like Q went back and like touched his
Oh, I
mother with like
fucking hope
something.
not. No.
You know, like I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be like lock. Uh, well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it has to do when, you know, it makes me think of Rutherford and how when he had his accident and then like they added something to him, and I
Yeah.
was like,
Mhm.
when maybe he got his new heart, was it like they added something, they did something else to him, you know, they experimented on him. Apparently, you know, it's a thing. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a Q thing. Let's see.
Hmm.
Maybe that's
I
why
hope
Q liked
not.
him. Maybe that's why Q liked him so
Mm-mm.
much, because he was like unique.
Special.
In a weird way.
Yes.
What doesn't Q say at the end of season 2? You've always been special to me, Jean-Luc.
Yeah, but it's Q. Come on.
Yeah, right.
Who knows?
Michael
That's why
Kwan.
maybe...
Michael Kwan wrote this real quick, and we were talking about it very early this morning. It could be Bendai syndrome from carrying Sarek's Katra for so long after their mind meld.
The
But
only-
he was diagnosed when? That's the thing.
After we don't hear about
Irimotic
Irimotic
syndrome was not mentioned until All Good Things.
Mhm.
Yeah, literally the finale.
Yeah. The problem I have with bringing Sarek into it is that they have not mentioned Sarek yet.
Yeah, it just doesn't make.
I'm
yeah.
always game from bringing Sarek into it. Bring
Well, I
some
mean,
drama,
same.
some chaos.
Oh, wait, come on, you know, I'm the same way, but also I look at things from a writer perspective where it's like we've got to have like at least most of the pieces in place before it's like surprise Sarek.
I don't know. They put pieces in place for 2 seasons and then they decided to do nothing with them. So, but no, that could be though like something, because we were talking about T'Pol earlier that, you know, gets sick from the mind melt. That could be something too. Like, you know, that could be something that happened to him during Starfleet time, with all the radiation he's been exposed to, or all the weird thing, strange energies he's been exposed to. Who knows?
Exactly.
I mean,
Were you-
it's
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, it's definitely something they're going to have to explain because, I mean, Picard fucking died in season 1 from this supposed Irimotic syndrome. So we're going to have to explain, like, what exactly happened there. I mean, like, I would think that would be fairly final, but it looks like not.
It's not final in Star Trek.
Well, at least the diagnosis would have been. Like, I mean, he had been living with that for a long time, so that's very interesting, and it makes me wonder if somebody knew about it.
Yeah.
Like, did Daystrom know about it? I mean, I'm guessing that Bev didn't know about it since she thought that Jack had it as well. But I mean, there's definitely like a conspiracy going on with Picard, and
I'm sorry, did you say conspiracy?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
He's got a butt bug in him.
Butt bugs.
It's always butt bugs,
Always butt bugs.
even when it's not. But yeah, something's going on. And I know this is gonna sound like a really like kind of anticlimactic way to finish what I'm saying, but we'll find out. I mean, I'm still not. I still think that it could be related to Locutus.
Yep.
That for me makes the most story sense, since like they have reminded us this season of Locutus, and that has been a running plot through Picard. All of the other possibilities that have been mentioned is nothing that has been brought up so far, not only not this season, but not in Picard at all.
Yeah, good points. Eric?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's fair.
Like,
That's very fair.
Irmatic syndrome, like, I thought we've dealt with it and just left it alone after Picard season 1, and it's back. Sort of, maybe. I don't know. I just hope it's not something that I'm gonna go, oh, cool. I guess that's cool.
Well, I said it last week. Like I said it last week. I'm nervous that they've reintroduced Jean-Luc dying in season 1 because they did a good job kind of ignoring it.
Yeah.
And now it's like front and center in the plot. And now it's like they doubled down on it. And I just hope to God that they fucking stick the landing with that. Because otherwise,
Picard sticking the landing.
it's going so far.
It's the first time for everything.
We've said it so often that we're like, oh yeah, this season's been really good, and then the last couple of episodes, you're like, oh, you're introducing some stuff where we're just like, eh.
We're jinxing it. We're jinxing it.
This is why I was nervous for this episode.
Yep, I'm done.
I'm not sure there's anything more I can add to it. And as Giraffe said, like mutations, like, people have anomalous genes in them, like, that just like do nothing in that, and until like, maybe someday in that, many, 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 many years into the future in that, they actually turn into something.
Yep.
We don't know. And like I said before, they said the Irmatic syndrome was a misdiagnosis. Data confirmed that. And as I said, and for anybody who's watched House for all those years and that, we know that two different syndromes can present similar symptoms.
Great point. Very great point. Yeah. I got nothing. Do it well. That's all I ask, because I'm still fucking 100% invested.
Yeah.
Just do it well. Please.
They're all gonna die. Everybody. It's gonna
Everybody.
Be the end.
Rocks fall, everyone dies.
Final thoughts. I feel like I said this last week. I think we hit like everything. Does anybody have any final thoughts on this one?
I do.
Go ahead.
Fuck, I do. So the most interesting part of this whole episode for me was when Vadic was having her conversation with her boss, and he or she or whatever they say, you and your kind will find your own existence meaningless.
Yes.
So that
I
means
know
that
that
they might
too.
not be a changeling. That makes
They're
my
not a
brain.
changeling.
That makes my brain.
It's Future Man.
Oh god.
Oh my god,
Is
if
it
it's
Archer?
Future Man, I will actually love that. I'm not kidding.
Oh my god.
Wait, wrap up like the biggest fucking Star Trek mystery ever made.
Yeah,
Dude.
if it's Archer, I'm
That
fine
makes
with that.
sense.
I'm fine with that. Time
It
agents,
does.
man. I'm always down with more time stuff. God,
Oh.
yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I noted that too, and I was like, interesting.
That's a very
Yeah.
specific words.
I
right?
apologize for not bringing up that scene. We should have probably talked about that a little bit because it was a great scene. Once again, Amanda Plummer just
Mm-hmm.
I have final thoughts in the idea that there are 3 episodes left, and
Yep.
yeah, that's it.
3.
And they're starting to cram as many things as possible in one episode. Like there were a lot of things in this episode, like a lot of information, a lot of scenes, and we're still nowhere near to any thread of resolution
Yeah.
for anything.
Yeah.
I hope the last 3 episodes just go like
Yeah.
24, 26 hours.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, there's only 38 hours,
Tack.
right?
Tick,
36
Tack.
hours.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
tick.
I was.
You know what? I was thinking about this episode as I was reading the outline, and yet again we go for an hour and 40 minutes. But I was writing this outline. I'm like, I actually don't think a lot does happen in this episode. I really
Not
don't.
really.
We get Vadic's explanation,
Mhm.
and we get Jack's.
This was
thing, but, like
exposition
we've been seeing Jack's evolution the entire season. It's just it's continuing, and we're getting to that moment of revelation where that we're like, basically minutes away from. But like,
I don't know, there's the whole thing, lore data thing.
yeah, but that's like, I don't know.
Like they're advancing a lot of plots in parallel. Meanwhile, we don't know where, and they added Tuvok to the mix. Like, meanwhile, we still don't know where Riker is.
Mhm.
They teased Deanna Troy, and she's
How-
nowhere in
yep.
this episode. I'm like,
That bothered me.
3 episodes left, guys.
I was using this analogy with Hawk last night when I was talking about the episode. I was like, this is giving me the feeling when I saw The Force Awakens, and I was getting near the ending. I was like, oh fuck, they're just gonna show Luke Skywalker right at the end, right? And that's what's gonna happen, and that's where I'm getting to here in this part. I'm just like, they're gonna just start pushing shit at the end, and then we're gonna get the Enterprise in the last episode just to appease us, and they're gonna make me so angry.
Yeah, like, how are they gonna close all this in 3 episodes? That's
I don't know.
not a lot.
I just don't have the same feel. Like, I sorry, MC, you were raising
Yeah.
your finger. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, just Eric bringing up The Force Awakens. I mean, this isn't a sequel. This is a sequel thing, not Force Awakens in particular. I do think this is a prediction for me. I have not seen the last episodes. Episode 10 is absolutely going to have a People's Fleet / Avengers Assembled moment where
Yeah.
we're gonna see the Enterprise. We're gonna see Tuvok. We're gonna see Admiral Janeway. And
It'll be the
Just give me
Titan in the
Janeway.
middle. And then,
honestly, the chat, go ahead, name all of the people that you think will appear, because
Yeah.
we're gonna have people appear.
MC,
Well, I
this
do have like.
is
oh, go
what's gonna
ahead.
happen. You're gonna have the Titan in the front, and then you're gonna hear on your left, and the Enterprise is gonna go vroom.
On your stern. or on-
I do think that it's a bit. Okay, I'm gonna call it a bit bullshit, but it's a very strong word for what I want to say. But I don't really enjoy the fact that they're using NTNG and Voyager when Prodigy is the Voyager one. You know what I mean? I'm
Mm.
like,
You want more
don't
Deep Space
walk
Nine
on the-
people?
Like,
Give
I'm
me
I
both.
happy.
need more Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
I'm happy seeing Tuvok. I am, but I'm like, that's Prodigy's stuff. Like, do you all have your TNG legacy characters? Like, let the kids play with their cool stuff. Don't
Where's
steal things from
O'Brien?
them. Where is O'Brien? He's the most important
Dude is
man in
retired.
Starfleet.
Dude is
Yeah, I
retired.
know.
He's in the academy plot.
the last thing I want to say about this all possibly not being wrapped up in 3 hours, I would have believed that 2 seasons ago. The reason is that I don't believe it necessarily this season is because they haven't been fucking around with run times this season. Every episode has been close to, if not an hour, where the past 2 seasons we were dealing with bullshit like 30 minutes, 43 minutes. Like, there is a full hour of television. This one was actually, I think, the shortest episode
shortest
of the
one.
season. But then I could tell you, no spoilers, next week's episode is like an hour long.
Mhm.
So, there's lots of time. And I've been saying this since episode 1. I still don't look at this season like a television season. I look at this as like a Zack Snyder's Justice League long form 10-hour film.
Mhm.
I've gotten
way
that
better.
yeah. I'm a sympathizer. I
Don't come for me.
love Justice League. Anyway, where are the links posted of the episodes? I mean, just watch the episode and fast forward to the end and you can see. I don't know. Actually, I think they're posted like when you go on Paramount Plus and it tells you.
Yeah, it's written next to the
It's written
episode.
right next to him.
Mhm.
Yeah. Why am I checking my DM, people? I'm trying to wrap up a show.
Why did I get fired this time? Oh, because of the Justice
what
League
was it?
comment. No.
No, it wasn't that. It was something else, wasn't it? I can't remember.
Well,
I don't know what
I'm-
this means, so I'm gonna ignore it.
What's happening?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Weird shit. There was like one Easter egg, and that was her the Calto, but also Vadic's sensor thing on her arm was Klingon commanders from the Search for Spock and made the same exact sound.
Also, the Chintalk
Really?
system itself is a Easter egg, a giant one from Deep Space Nine.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
there were battles there during the Dominion War.
Yep. Okay, let me put something out here very quickly because this is apparently what the drama is. There are people in the press, and it's not even the press, like a very small group of people, who have seen the entire season. Okay, that
is
are
not us.
that are influencers.
Oh, it's not us.
The only screeners that we have through are through 7 and 8. We have not seen the last 2 episodes. We don't have screeners for them.
And
The
I
only
literally
next
watched
episode-
the 7th episode today.
Yeah. Hawk and Giraffe have not seen episode 8. MC, Eric, and I have. We have not seen anything past that. And everything we're speculating on is because we have no fucking clue on what happens. So
We generally don't speculate if we know. We just don't
yeah,
talk about it.
exactly.
That
We
is
just
true.
don't. We just
that
don't
would
do it.
ruin this. Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't do it.
They
And
just
if we
look
do
at me
speculate, then we
weird, that's
bullshit
all.
really hard to the point where y'all believe it.
Butt
So-
bugs.
butt bugs.
It's always butt bugs.
Yeah, so I don't know what bullshit's going on in the shit in my DMs, but like, don't believe.
Everybody
whatever
is
you're
insane
fucking,
today.
People
What's
are fucking
going
crazy
on?
right
Like,
now. I don't know what the hell is
everybody
going
needs
on.
to Really chill.
Everybody
like,
chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we all just need some warm weather.
Let's rate
I
this
agree.
one, guys.
Yes.
Out of 10 games of Calto, we'll go in the reverse order. Hawk.
I can give this one a 9. This was a very good episode. I was almost going to say something. It was like nothing very much has happened in that. I kind of felt like quoting Brian Cox from Adaptation in that nothing much happens. People find love. People lose love. There's a lot going on. The only misstep was the whole thing with lore hooked to the computer before they sprung the trap. That's a point off for that. Other than that, 9 out of 10.
I would have given this a 9. I'm going to give it an 8.5. I didn't like the damsel in distress things, but everything Geordi related made me love this episode for that reason alone.
Nice. MC.
I was gonna give it an 8, just because of the few things that I did not like, but I am bumping it up to a 9 because of the appearance of Tuvok and because of the amazing Geordi speech. Those get it to a 9 for me.
Nice. Giraffe.
That's a good 8. I was not like over the moon about it, but it
Yep.
flows. Great moments. I don't know. I still don't know what the fuck is going on. So you know, I'm like,
worry,
totally.
I was using
Totally.
that meme from Trinity the Talk. I was like, I have no fucking clue what she's saying, but I'm leaving. Same. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, sure, I'm here. Let's go.
I'm gonna read the chats in just 1 second. Over on the chat we have some ratings. Michael Kwong gives it an 8.5. Chris gives it a 12.5 out of 10. Gooey Riker. Gross. Wow, 12.5. Nice. 8. Tara gives it 8 pickup sticks of Calto. I like that. Haven an 8.88 out of 10. Losing points for lore. Oh, you're losing points for lore. And Sydney.
I like
what?
that.
I love lore.
Yeah.
Ensign Roe Aaron gives it a 6.5. Matt Harker, I'm an 8.59. Stress 3K, 9 days from test tubes. Ouch.
Oh,
Damn. Too soon.
That's
weren't there 9
that's
of them?
dark.
Yeah. Eric, goddamn. I'm a changeling gives it an 8. Shatterhand says, as I mentioned, the mailbag, a solid 7 out of 10. Where else? Bob, episode 9, 10 upgrade for knowing the. I have no idea what that means.
He knows the writer of the episode, so he's upgrading it to a 10.
Oh, got it. Thank you, MC. You're not fired today. Gives it a 10. Digital Sean, it's an 8 out of 10 butt bugs for me. Would have been from Jamie Gale, says 7.5 for me, but LeVar bumped it to a solid 8. Kenny Hudson, 8.14. Beeflo Main, Simon, it's an 8 out of 10. Lost 2 points because Julian, the life form detector sound was from Star Trek 2.
Oh, yeah.
It was from both. It was from both. It was from both. Go watch the
Fighting
movie right now and
words.
tell me I'm wrong. Not
Fighting
kidding.
words.
It's the same sound. It is the same
Tiffany
sound.
has one too.
Tiffany, 9 awkward Jack side eyes.
Wow.
Everybody's spicy
No, I read. I said.
today.
I read.
Spicy.
I said row Aaron 6.5. I said that, didn't I? No, I know I did.
Yeah.
No, I know I
Yeah.
did. Yeah. God, people.
Too much spice.
Too much spice. The spice must flow. Let's do the subspace to poll and mailbag.
Comms, get me the dock master. Control tower reading, Commander.
And we asked, so yeah, big update real quick. The to poll will now be on our Discord, no longer on Twitter, because Elon Musk is a fuckface. End of story.
Elon Musk.
Yeah. So fuck that guy.
Oh
That
yeah,
dumbass.
that's the Twitter blue thing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
So
We used to do that.
yeah. Sorry, not sorry. We can't help it, and we're not going to give that fucker our money for Twitter
Yeah.
Blue. So
No wonder Lorca admired him so much.
Yeah. Jesus.
Oh,
Great
God.
reference.
Lorca
Who wants to
leaves.
take the
I'll do it.
subspace to pull? Go ahead, Eric.
Fuck. We asked our Discord collective what they thought of this week's episode Dominion, and this is what they had to say. 77% said, "Oh my lore." 18% said, "Can't hold my shape." 0% said, "Need more data or data." 5% said, "Cal, no."
Ooh,
5%.
5%.
So if you
5%.
want to vote in our polls, please join our Discord. And we also have a
Yes.
lot of fun conversations over there.
Indeed, we do. Indeed, we do. It is a lot of fun. And thank you, Eric, for making the poll thing happen.
The
Yeah.
poll.
The poll. The poll.
We should call it the poll. The poll.
The
on there.
poll. Let's see. So Eric went. That means Hawk. You continue, please, with right. That's the right order.
Yep.
Yes, with Chris's mailbag, please.
Yeah, Chris wrote, I like that part with the Trek stuff, and oh my, how awesome. Can you believe Tim Russ showed up? And the zany one-liners from Bev, just kiss.
Matt wrote, I absolutely loved this episode, but could have used at least a few more in-person moments with Deanna, having her only in-person dialogue being, oh, Will. God damn, you're so right. So far does her a disservice. Absolutely agree. Other than that, I can't wait for the 4K UHD Blu-ray Metalis cut of this season. Back to you, Draft, with Shatterhands, please.
Shatterhand wrote, not the strongest episode of the season from my perspective, but still a very engaging and enjoyable one. Amanda Plummer deserves a huge shout out for performance as Vadic. She's quickly becoming one of the best antagonists Trek has had in quite some time. Solid 7 out of 10 for me.
She was
Solid.
I see what you did there.
Solid.
channeling her
Yeah.
dad all episode was amazing.
Yep. MC with Tara's, please.
Tara has another limerick for us this week. A plan is afoot to trap Vadic and her changelings, while Data fights Lore's nefarious obstructing. Tuvok's not Tuvok. Bev and JL's principles may no longer be bedrock, and Lacreche is sharing some strange sort of mingling.
I love these.
That's a
I
good
want them
one.
for the rest of the season, please.
Yes.
Pressure.
Yep. Pressure, Tara. Pressure. Eric with Jesco's, please.
Jesco Road. What can I say other than Vadic absolutely stole the show? Not in love with yet another evil Starfleet story, but when told by Amanda Plummer, I cannot help but be invested and entranced. This episode had me on the edge of my seat the whole hour, and I also really enjoyed Data fighting an internal war against Lore and finding strength through his bond with Geordi to prevail. Absolutely cannot wait for the next week's adventure with Captain Vadic.
Nice. Who's up? Hawk with Michael Kwans, please.
Michael Kwan wrote, if episodes 1 to 4 were the start of this roller coaster and featured a lot of fun twists and turns, 5 was the quiet part of the ride to let us catch our breath and get set up for the rest of the ride. In intensity and purpose, this week's episode was the big scary hill we're climbing for the rest of the ride. Everything's been taken from our crew and they're in the enemy's clutches. Next week, we go over the top and get the big drop.
Y'all. Me, Jedi Cat, wrote, I think this is Jedi Cat's first mailbag. So
I
think
welcome,
so.
Jedi Cat. Oh my God, I was on the edge of my seat, squealed at the beginning when I saw Tuvok. Amanda Plummer, Brent Spiner, and LeVar Burton were the MVPs, and Todd Stashwick deserves a special mention just for his performance in those final scenes. I assume that they mean bleeding and just,
Getting
you know,
beaten up.
having a no good, very bad week. Despite it turning out to be another evil Starfleet Section 31 story, feels a bit derivative for Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yep.
I'm totally invested and excited to see how these last episodes turn out. If Jack Crusher is revealed to be Shinzon 2.0 or something like that, Giraffe's been saying it for weeks.
Yes, I've been saying
I
it.
will scream. Although I'm intrigued to find out what's going on with him. That bit where he mind linked with Sydney was both interesting and cool. That was it. Draft with Cassie's, please.
Let's go. There's I need to do Cisco. Okay. To quote one of Benjamin Cisco, I want to know what the hell is going on. Because
I'm not even gonna hit the button because that was awesome.
because I got no dang idea where half these plot points are going. I love it. Same.
Right?
I have no
Right.
clue. I don't know. I'm here.
MCs with Havens, please.
Haven wrote, before I start, I want to squash any theory that I am a changeling. I don't know. I'm not
That's
too sure
exactly
about
what
that
a
one.
changeling would say.
It's true.
Exactly. Because I was shocked and worried that we were going to lose Captain Shaw, but then they couldn't torture him more. Yes, this is a complete turnaround from the character we were introduced to when I was calling for the airlocking of Captain Shaw. I think I will actually miss him and hope this isn't the last we see of Captain Liam Shaw.
We need him for Star Trek Legacy.
We need Star Trek Legacy, please.
Yeah.
That's right. Eric, you take Takako's, please.
Takako wrote, I only had time to see this once, but I can say I spent a lot of time inhaling sharply, eyes getting big as saucers, hands over my mouth, sometimes all at the same time. I actually started feeling sympathy for Vadic at one point, and horror at what she went through. I don't want to predict where any of this is going because I'm so enjoying this fantastic ride.
Indeed. Hawks with Rude Parakeet, please.
Rude Parakeet wrote 30 seconds in, and it's already a 10 out of 10 because Tuvok. I was worried Shaw was dead when he fell out of the turbolift and onto the bridge, kind of like Mirror Universe Connor from Discovery. Thankfully, no one clapped, and he's still alive. Sydney helplessly calling out to Jack for instructions bugged me a bit. As a Starfleet officer, she should have been prepared for a scenario like that. Still a 10 out of 10 because of Tuvok, but I'm really disliking the damsel in distress parts of the season.
Agreed. And I'll close it out with Collins, by the way, sir. 8:59 p.m. and 9 p.m. last week. I'm looking at you. Wow, hard to find a way to make this short. Here goes. Tuvok, yay. Oh no, Tuvok, damn. Perversely liked Vadic's story. Things make a lot more sense, but still, who is Hand Guy?
Hand Guy. Future man. I'm telling
Imagine
you.
if his name is Hand Guy at the end, though.
Hand Guy.
I would love it.
Anderson.
I am
Hand
Guy.
Oh man, awesome fight scenes with Jack and Sydney with all the coordinated force fields. What is up with the telepathy and red eyes? The bridge taken over, cool cliffhanger, but dang, I hate cliffhangers. 8 out of 10. Whew, another marathon one, guys. It's
Yeah.
see, that's such like the difference, and I know I'm like jerking the season off a little bit, but I don't care. That's like the difference, like
A
between
little bit.
okay, between like season 1 and season 2. There's just like, even though some of us say there was a lot and some say that there wasn't a lot, there's still a shit ton to talk about, and I like that a lot, and that's why I love this pod. So, speaking of this pod, next week we will be back with episode 308, and I'm not going to say the name until we have confirmation. That should be Monday, but we are most likely having a very special guest on the show. So stick around for news on that. Yes, it is someone from the show. Very excited. So,
I'm not even aware.
you should be. So I don't know why you're not. Stick around for news on that. We will be back with that one next Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, right here. For MC, for Hawk, for Eric, for Giraffe, I am Julie, and I will say live long and prosper. Majram. Good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.